Hey team, right, welcome to my first Thrive Forum. And I put the question out earlier on this week, what you wanted to potentially know about or know a little bit more about. And some members throughout the past few weeks or months actually have been asking a little bit about creatine, the supplement creatine. Um, so this seems like a good opportunity to kind of share a little bit of insight, and hopefully like the sort of questions at the bottom is what is it, what does it do, and do you need it? And by the end of this, hopefully, um, you'll be a little bit more informed. So. Um, Initially, and you again probably heard about this, and there are a few sort of misconceptions about it. But it is one of the most researched supplements. So it's pretty well backed. I haven't linked anything into this, but you can Google any sort of research, and as far as it's pretty legitimate as far as a supplement. It's occurring in your body, which I'll go into in the next slide. But again, yeah, like I said, the previously, I remember when I first heard about it, it was like, it seems like it's almost a bit like steroids or something, but it isn't. It's basically just like think of it as a tool, but you could be using this tool unnecessarily. And like I said, hopefully by the end of this, you get a good idea of what that is. Uh, hey mate, no, you're coming. See ya. So what is creatine? So it's naturally occurring and it's in your muscles. There's not a lot of it, but you can get it from natural sources of food. So obviously things like meat, but again, it's in sort of relatively small amounts. So the supplement that you would purchase is effectively a concentrated dose of the creatine. Um, and it serves a purpose, which I'll try and go into the science, and keep it as simple and so I don't bore myself as well. But effectively, it can act as a little assist, a little energy booster and this is really important for like short, intense exercise. So that little bit there, the short, intense exercise, is where it's very relevant. So for more the endurance athlete, it's less relevant. Um, so how does it work? So bear with me here. So effectively, your your body's energy currency is ATP. And it sort of powers like muscle contractions, like quick, explosive muscle contractions. When you effectively spend that currency, ATP, it turns into ADP, and it's not very good at the muscle contractions. So what you need is to try and turn your ADP back into ATP, and this is where creatine comes in. So you take a supplement and you give yourself plenty of this supplement, i.e. the creatine, on a daily basis. Your body's ability to convert that ADP back into ATP is much better. And then as a result, you then have the ability to potentially um, push a little bit harder. And it's marginal, but again, it's research backed, so it does work. So yeah, the picture at the bottom here is think of it as like you have your ATP fuel tank, and then you're sort of spending that fuel. It turns into ADP, so it's not working very well. You add creatine, it sort of tops up that ATP fuel tank. So hopefully you've stuck with me there. Um, but yeah, there you go. Just think of it as kind of you're topping up your fuel tank. So think of it as like your creatine is like a jerry can, and you're topping up your fuel tank, and you need it. Okay, for specific types of training. So, the benefits, yeah, improve strength and power output, but that's fundamentally comes down to the training that you're doing. So you can't just take creatine and sit on your bum and think, right, I'm going to be absolutely shredded in 6 weeks' time. Like it's always down to your training, your nutrition, recovery, which I'll get to. But you'll be able to sort of push that little bit harder, marginally harder when it comes to squeezing out reps and lifting heavier. Um, but something to sort of this is very more relevant and you'll make more of it if you are a bit more conditioned to pushing hard in the gym, if that makes sense, because it's more about your awareness of like how hard can you push yourself. So if you are just new to the gym, um, and you're learning to move, then I wouldn't really bother. But if you've been training and you're consistently training 3 times a week, then yeah, there is some benefit. Okay, and it can help your recovery. So again, I'll get into that shortly. So obviously, I started right at the beginning. Creatine is not a steroid. It doesn't damage your kidneys, doesn't cause dehydration. It can just as a result of kind of the process. Increase a little bit of water retention in the muscles, but it's not a bad thing. And it's not excessive. It's just sort of, the transparency of what it'll do. And then, like I touched on there, who benefits the most. So ultimately, if you are with Thrive and you are training 3 times a week and you are doing it consistently and you are looking to get stronger, looking to move well, then yeah, you could benefit from it. It's just really good for people that are, doing more explosive movements and working and digging hard. It's not really beneficial for anybody that is doing more endurance. So, for those that do endurance but do your strength training as part of your conditioning, your strength and conditioning, then yeah, there probably is some benefit because we'll sort of make sure that your training is relevant. But yeah, if you were, for example, talking to a friend and they're doing a load of triathlons, like long endurance triathlons, and they're like, "Oh, I heard about this creatine," then you can go to them and kind of go, if that's all you're doing, you probably don't need it. It's just it's a waste of money, basically. Um, so, yeah, usually 3 to 5 gram dose, which will always have like a scoop or something. Um, Sometimes it was a bit old school, but you needed this loading phase to kind of like build up the amount of creatine that your body can effectively store. But nowadays you don't need to do that. The key thing with creatine is just making sure you are doing it consistently. So don't sort of go on waves of like you do it, you do your creatine, and then you come off of it and you think, well, I'm still not feeling any benefit. It's the type of thing that you need to be doing quite consistently. So part of your routine. So every morning I sort of fill up my water bottle. It's got creatine in. And I just guzzle that through the day because timing of when you take it is not overly relevant. Um, Go on, Brian. Um, so yeah, safe, natural, effective, supports your strength, power, recovery. It is not essential, but there is proof that it can be beneficial. It's very, very affordable as well. And what you typically see is creatine monohydrate, which I think is just sort of how the sort of type of creatine, which is pretty standard. And yeah, really easy to take. Just chuck it in water and just either neck it or guzzle it throughout the day. Um, so final takeaway, and I sort of alluded to this right at the beginning, is your priority when it comes to any sort of progress in the gym has to be on consistency. And the base of that is just like being quite consistent with your nutrition, your recovery, your sleep, your training. So your training needs to be super consistent. So 3 times a week is preferable. That, whether that's 2 in the gym, 1 out, or 3 in the gym and something else. And then the cherry on the top is the supplements. So they're the things that can kind of give you, yeah, proven record that can give you a bit of an edge, but it is not vital. Okay, so hopefully, um, this is enough to give you a little bit of an insight into what creatine does. Okay, bye.